The next question that came in today is about how do you deal with, when things don't go your way and when everything's going wrong, especially in business and in entrepreneurship. I think of when I think of everything going wrong in life, I think of the best time for someone to really gauge who they really want to become as a person. It is through adversity that we find out a lot about ourselves and what we're capable of. It is through the lack of resources that we find out how to be resourceful. It is when we are hanging off a cliff by one hand that we truly define our strengths. And it is when everything goes wrong that we define the person we want to be and the person we're willing to become. So I really think that through adversity and through things going wrong is the best time to really make a choice as to who you want to be, It's no different than when you're in a relationship, when your relationship is doing really bad. You can choose to go out and, say, oh, I'll find someone else, or you can find a way to fix the problem, right? I think as entrepreneurs, we're all ultimately fixers. I think people who want to become entrepreneurs have to learn to become fixers if they're not. And so how good of an entrepreneur can you really be if you can't even fix your own problems, right? Think about it that way. And it's really important that very early on, you adapt this mentality that when problems arise, you don't look at it as a negative, but look at it as an opportunity. And what I mean by opportunity is not like, oh, how can you make money off of this problem, but rather, how can you leverage the problem either through educating yourself and doing something, or how can you leverage the problem to ensure that it doesn't slow you down too much and that at least you learn something from it or try to gain or turn it around to create an opportunity out of it. If you look at every problem you encounter, even if it's a chain reaction of problems, as a negative, then you're being emotional about the situation. Being emotional means that it'll take you longer and cost you more to fix the situation because you have your opinion about what happened and you feel like a victim and you have all types of issues internally. Instead of looking at the problem as it is part of the cycle of being successful. And problems arise everywhere, and problems will always be everywhere. And the real problem here is that it's impacting you directly, which is why you're most likely emotional and it's taking a drain on you. But if you're able to even identify these particular problems, just like I talk about in third circle theory, of being able to remove yourself from the equation, not assume the world revolves around you, and instead spend time to understand how would someone else looking from the outside in solve this problem, then you're able to look at the solution to a problem as a whole. Like you're seeing the root of the problem and not just the tip of the iceberg that's sticking out. And then you're able to perhaps fix the problem on a much better level than simply saying, hey, I fixed this temporarily and until it breaks again, we're good to go. But instead, truly create a process or something to handle your problem so that it doesn't occur again. Through that process, perhaps you'll discover something that can be applied to many more things than just this particular problem you had. The idea of creating solutions to problems, even for yourself, is to look at them from a third perspective that is unbiased and also unemotional. By being logical, you're able to identify the opportunities within the problem. I highly recommend people of all types, regardless if you're entrepreneurs or not, to remember that it is within adversity that we define ourselves, which is why many people love stories like our friend Lewis Howes, which is an academy teacher at secretacademics.com that teaches, about how he was playing football and then he hurt himself, and all of a sudden what he believed his dream was now, what he believed his purpose to be and his dream to be all about now shattered and he can no longer pursue it. But he still found a way to kind of find a lot of success, and he found it in business and helping others and becoming kind of the brand himself of someone who's overcome that adversity, and he now helps many people, and he still plays different sports now, but he's still able to kind of continue. And he found that it was within that struggle that he was really able to define himself and what he was meant to do. I think the same can be said for everybody. I mean, it is through me getting fired that I kind of found my purpose and my calling. It wasn't because I was successful before. It was because I ran into a situation where the worst happened. Everything I believed could go right went wrong, and everything I believed in then shattered. And so I found myself, and I defined who I wanted to become, and I found a way. And the same can be said for many people. We'll all face these challenges. I mean, people we love will die. Businesses we love will crash. And you know what? Money we've made will be lost. And even that, relationships we've built will be lost as well. And it is through these downtimes that we can either improve and find out what we're made of and continue to grow as individuals, or that we can sit there and feel sorry for ourselves and continue to belong to the first circle, and instead of just graduating and becoming more successful over time, continue to remain lost and confused. I highly recommend everybody to kind of rethink how they look at life and through which perspectives, and then to also kind of move forward with their life and look at every opportunity as an opportunity to learn and grow. And if you do so from a non-emotional lens, like we talk about in third circle theory, you're bound to get a lot further and to become a lot more successful faster. So try to apply that and see where it takes you. All right, today's Ask Me Anything is about education again, and it seems to be coming back up over and over, and thank God someone didn't ask me if I have a degree or not, because we've